For BamaCentral.com, I'm Katie Windham here with Will Miller and Hunter Siver. We had once again player interviews, Nate Oates interviews today here at Rocket Arena in Cleveland before Alabama basketball will take on St. Mary's in the round of 32, trying to advance to the Sweet 16 for the third straight season. Guys, obviously a lot's been made of the contrasting play styles between the two teams. What did you think about Hunter Alabama's answers today about kind of how they plan to combat that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is kind of like the main thing for this game. You got Alabama, who's #1 in the country in possessions per game, and then you got St. Mary's, who's in the bottom 10 in the country in points per game. And nevertheless, both of them really have very similar records, and obviously it's worked out in different ways. However, when I asked Nate Oates about it, he said the plan is not necessarily to adjust towards their slow pace, but rather to emphasize rebounding. Rebounding was a big issue against Robert Morris, as Alabama allowed 19 offensive rebounds compared to their 5, and that's why it was a bit of a scare for Robert Morris, and Alabama almost lost the game. But St. Mary's also an excellent offensive rebounding team, 11th in the nation, so Alabama really will have to be up to it once again.
Yeah, because of that tempo that they play at, you can't afford to give them extra possessions with offensive rebounding, because then it also takes away possessions from yourself, and Alabama obviously wants to grab those defensive boards, take it, and transition, get down on the other end of the floor and score. Will, what do you think is going to be the biggest key for Alabama tomorrow in trying to advance to the next round?
I definitely think sharing the basketball. I talked about this with the players today. I went around and talked to some of the guards, and it was a good day spreading the ball around for Alabama against Robert Morris. Mark Sears with 10 assists, LeBaron Philon had 8, and that ends up being a difference in the game, because an assist comes after a made basket. So when you see those in the stat sheet, you'll know that trip down the floor on offense was a successful conversion. So they'll need to bring that. Obviously, St. Mary's probably a better team than Robert Morris, and certainly plays a different play style, as we've talked about a lot. But I still think that sharing the load is going to be the big difference maker tomorrow night.
Yeah, I think that'll be a big key as well, but that'll wrap it up from today here in Cleveland. We'll all be back tomorrow for the game coverage. We thank you for following along with us all week and for watching this video.